Hello, everyone. I'll give us time to arrive. Give us time, a few moments to arrive. Rock is here. You can see a little bit of his fluff. Hi, I'm aLex Levin. We are here together for roughly a half hour, Sunday mornings, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Get what you need to be comfortable in this space. I've decided I like this sitting on this corner of the couch instead of on the floor, at least for today. And if you're love to hear your chats, see your chats. Hi, Mary Beth. Great to know you're here. It's sweet for me to see who's here with me, if that's possible. If it's not easy to do, don't worry about it. But I do have a question for you this morning to maybe start ruminating on, and then if it's easy enough to type into the chat. Hi, Virginia. Do that for me. I'm going to get a little closer so I can see. So in case you're new to me and joining me later, or I'll talk a little about my theme. We'll get grounded. We'll do a very small movement, mindful movement. And then we'll segue into stillness and silence of meditation. So what did I title this today? Asking for help. I've been thinking a lot, and isn't it sometimes like the universe just kind of sends you certain messages to pay attention to this? And one of the things that's been coming to me often is prayer or asking for help. And so I wanted to talk about that a little today. It is not something that comes naturally to me. It's something that makes total sense, but it's not something I do naturally, and certainly not asking for help. And prayers, even though growing up we were coached in prayers, there were prayers we learned and recited before sleep often, and then maybe weekly at services. But I'm just ruminating on that, and how the ways that there are many ways we ask for prayer, ask for help. One of it is prayer. One of it is to call our friends or to hire somebody. We need different kinds of help, right? We might need help that is as I'm needing help with doing things around the house to fix certain things. So, but along the sense of needing help for when we're down, or when we're down and out, or hitting our bottom, or very in despair moment, even if it's moments or longer times, how could we avail ourselves of this? I'm gonna check something. Of this. I'm losing a word here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm blanking out. Of this technique, of this connection. So let me read a poem, and let's see, what is the question I'm wondering? And maybe if you ruminate on it and think of it, you could leave something in the text, a short something. Maybe you have a question around it, a more specific question, or maybe you have a favorite prayer that you use, or in the 12-step programs, they have a sort of joke that the phone weighs 2,000 pounds or something like that, that it's so hard to sometimes pick up the phone and just call a friend, call someone to ask for help, can be from various reasons. Can be just how we've been taught. It can be from pride. It can be from shame or embarrassment. In any case, let me read this poem that I read, I think, here sometime in the summer. I learned about it from our friend, Anne Jablonski. I'm going to read it slowly and just let yourself ruminate on prayer, however it might appeal to you. Still learning how to pray. When the fragile egg of your heart is about to burst, watch for the delta of geese winging across the sky. Look, they cry, pray in geese today, pray flow, pray grace, pray the wild delight of trusting to air. Watch for the dragon who raises an eye above the horizon. Pray dragon, she tells you. Pray fierce, pray focus, pray the way magenta flows into tangerine and tangerine into indigo. Pray in rays of rising sun. When the weight on your shoulders bursting miraculous from yesterday's snowbank. Pray Mary's blue, she tells you. Pray harbinger, pray hopefulness, pray unexpected. Watch for the spider who weaves her webs in your corners. Pray webs, she implores. Pray nets, pray baskets, pray whole networks of strands, knotted and woven. Pray secret, quiet work that appears out of nowhere. When no words will come to hold the weight of your heart, let the network of all that surrounds you speak the words you dare not utter. Let the threads of geese and sunlight, flower and root and spider carry your prayers. So maybe this poem hits me so close. I'll say that, I'll share mine, and maybe that'll inspire you. It's so close because of this alternatives to the words of prayer. And interestingly, something that's come back into my attention lately is from Allison Zach's Wild Asana book, also a member of our community, our yoga community, Allison, how the gods and goddesses, they have a vehicle. They have a vehicle that they ride. For example, the elephant-headed god Ganesha rides a mouse, or sometimes thought of as a rat. And I hadn't really pondered it, but I just sort of thought about how they're just vehicles that take them from point A to point B. But the idea is that they are vehicles that take them to the divine. So in the case of the mouse or rats, there's something that's many of them, and it might be creepy to think about, but it's also there's so many of them, and they might appear in the corners of your house or come in when it's cold, or in places, so many places that are available, and that's increases our potential to connect with the divine. Might be that. Go more into our body, out of the head and this thinking and words that I've been using. And you don't have to get perfectly still, but you might start to get comfy and cozy where you're sitting, or lying down, or standing. And let's arrive here today, together. Perhaps you can allow and feel how your belly is softening as we stop, as we take this conscious pause. Perhaps you can allow the hinges of your jaw on either side to loosen a little bit. And just allow all the particles and parts of you to settle, meaning settle downward with the flow of gravity, with the effortless field. Perhaps feel the fellowship that we have here together. Those of us who are here in real time together, or synchronous time, all time is real or not real. Those of us who join at a later time, and all those who participate in some form of this quiet listening that invites us to be more and more conscious of our true identity. The awakeness that's already here. Tangible supports, not just of gravity, but of the solid surface. For me, it's this couch, and this floor, this room, this house that are around you and near you. Perhaps it's the meal you had before joining us. The oxygen we share and depend on. The sun, its light and warmth that is at just the right settings for us to survive. The mechanism of breath. So in different words, those were the sound, breath, ground, pointers. Today's movement will be another very, very subtle, almost non-doing, or just observing, but and allowing. And it will be with watching our breath. So let's feel and watch how the belly can move and relax more and more to receive in-breath, pauses, out-breath. All the belly area, and I kind of am taking liberties with the whole lower abdominal cavity from the diaphragm muscle below the heart downward, but maybe even including the heart. Just the lower portion for now. We'll come up to the lungs as well. So maybe feeling the pelvic floor, out to the hip joints, which aren't so far out. They're deep in the body, actually. And you might even feel like the domino effect of how the movement in the from the nostrils, diaphragm, pushing on the organs, all the organs of this lower abdominal area, pushing to the hip joints, even the leg bones and the bones of the feet, the knees, the ankles are connected to this movement. Feel, and all the connective tissue that carries photon energy, light energy. So you might feel that your self, your energy, your mind has shifted a little. The state of it might be slower, or sometimes as we slow down, the mind just really wants to get in there and have its say. And if that's the case, remember that it's fine. Try to remember that one way to meet that is not to fight it. To fight it or to try to control it is usually a losing battle, usually just engages it more. So just give it plenty of space. Give it your recognition. Give it a wide, wide field. And now let yourself feel the breath. And you could stay with that. You could sort of visit the breath down in that lower abdominal area, lower dantian. Now let's come up sort of to the upper belly region, the diaphragm, as if to watch this. As my hand takes a motion, sort of like a manta ray or a jelly, moon jellies, jellyfish, just floating, and there's nothing we need to do to be worthy of this breathing in, breathing out, to feel this muscle that's kind of like mushroom shaped, kind of jellyfish shape, and that with every movement it along with the lungs is squeezing and releasing the heart in these sequential hugs, massaging the heart. And then if you like, you could stay with that, or you could go back down to the lower belly, or even as you're paying attention to this diaphragmatic flow, you can focus, perhaps for myself, I had some achiness in the shoulder neck area, and you can just lightly let the touch of your inner gaze land there, your attentiveness. Allow a little more letting go, allow the breath to touch here. And then with what's been in the foreground of this attention to our breath, body, connection breath, including the outer and inner. We were paying attention to it here, but it comes from out there, comes in here, returns out there to the space around. And so now, with that maybe as the backdrop, perhaps inquiring once again this question of what question do I have? What need do I need to express? What is it? What is my need? That I have worked with, and I come and go from the paradigm of nonviolent communication. It's so important. We kind of skip over to really get clear about what's our need, and then how do we make a request? Perhaps you are ready with me now to enter into about 8 minutes of silence and stillness. So after I ring the bell, and as I ring the bell, please take the time you need to take the attentiveness to making sure you're as comfortable as you can get yourself to be to allow stillness without an issue. And it may be disturbed, but that's fine too. last minute moment adjustments, no hurry. Set yourself up for success. Gently realigning with gravity. Just taking that wider perspective, perhaps as if watching yourself from above or behind. Sensing that this spaciousness, how it is yourself, it's never not here with us. This awareness, capital A. And within its light and warmth, we might notice where we've been holding tension and it can release, or we just might notice the peace of stillness. You may notice the suffering, whether it's a small or large one, that would hold some clues to what our need or prayer or question is. And while the practice right now is not about the asking so much as about just the being, you might watch, since it's part of our theme, it's related. So we notice, and then maybe it's a quick prayer. And maybe it's that step of just the question is, I'm not sure how to. Do I do it through, as the poem said, through the I'm forgetting the details now, but maybe through the spider web, through the thing that seems to come from nowhere. Do I do it through a mouse or a rat? Do I do it through my breath? Who is listening? How do I know my prayer will be taken to where it can be heard? But in this part, just do that kind of quickly and come back to that spacious awareness. It's fine to have these spans where there's just resting in stillness. Another handful of breaths together in this practice. Savor for a few moments the state that you feel. You may give it names, or it could be just that beingness. And any thoughts, if it's not too jarring, or to notice any thoughts around this theme of asking for help, prayer, defining our need. Noticing that, and it occurred to me, information that came in the meditation was that there's this sense that maybe we don't believe our prayers will be delivered, like the mail doesn't get delivered or it doesn't get heard. And in the Catholic services, some of them, there's this part where prayers are offered and there's a refrain, Lord, hear our prayer. There's the practice of incense or sacrifice of the smoke that is of incense, often thought of the fragrance is to deliver, to make sure the prayer, one reason for it is the prayer is heard. And so something's popping up on the screen distracting me. So perhaps you have another comment. There's one here. That this is the poem, and the focus is really good for you today. Is great. So we can ruminate on this together apart during our weeks, this coming week, and maybe it can be helpful to keeping in touch with our essence and the manifestation of that is all of this. Thank you for joining me. Give you a better picture of rock. Max is in the cat tree opposite me. He's also looking really cute. Thank you so much for joining me. And do check out sunandmoonstudio.com. Join us often, check in often, and be well. Be well.